Okay, so I'm excited. I personally have seen Cancun just really help so many of like my own events, my team's events and everything. And so I feel like it is important, to go through the different pitches that we have. And I found a couple ways, especially recently, to just try to cut down, the different like talk time, and we're already cutting it pretty close with having to get like their information now and everything too with Cancun. So I want everybody to just be as smooth as possible with all these pitches. So let's go to the next slide. So we have several different pitches. And one thing I've actually started implementing with my own teams is whenever we book a tournament that has both the hero hole and the crank it hole, we're actually adding the Cancun trips into both programs. What we found is because you're putting them on opposite sides, it is important to give both of those programs the same opportunity to fundraise more. And so when it comes to tournaments, especially, we want to make sure that the Cancun trips are in both of those. Oh, we have some more people coming on right now. Sorry, guys, I'm going to keep adding them and then I'll pick back up. Here we go. Okay. So, oops. So on a hero day pitch, the biggest thing with hero is you want to make sure that everybody knows the main reason why we're out there, right? And so what I usually do is, I'm going up there, I'm talking to the players, no matter what kind of program it is, just so that it's comfortable, it's not awkward, you're not automatically going into sales, you're getting to know the players a little bit, asking them how their round is. But on a hero day, I usually bring up that golf course. So I'll bring up, hey, can you guys all make sure that your phones are muted, please? So I'm getting any background. Oh, okay. I think I got it. So, hey, you guys, we're so grateful, that Bay Hill allowed us out here today to fundraise for our military, first responders and their families. And so we have a couple contests for everybody throughout the day. The first one, everybody's going to try for a hole in one from any tee box. If you get a hole in one, you're going to split $3,500 with our hero program, but you're actually going to spend your half here at Bay Hill any way you'd like. Then we also have closest to the pin going where you can win up to $200 or so, depending on how much we raise, possibly more. But we've recently partnered with a Cancun company. And so we'll take donations of any dollar amount with cash, card, or Venmo. But if anyone in your team wants to donate $50 and they simply land the green, it doesn't matter if they're closest to the pin or not. They are automatically going to win a 5-day, 4-night stay in Cancun for 2 adults. Now, if anybody in your group wants to donate $100 or more to help out our guys, so that we can help them get their free prosthetics, their service dogs, family financial aid, all kinds of stuff, then we're going to actually gift you that Cancun trip for donating so much to the hero program. But again, we can do cash, cards, or Venmo, and I can come meet you guys up here to take any payment that you want to give. So I have found good success in that because you're bringing up that, hey, we'll take any dollar amount, but if you'll do 50 or 100, it gets like their wheels turning. But I also don't want to limit it to 100 because we have had people out there before that have been like, oh, throw 1,000 on our card. Well, the big thing for you to know, especially with tying in Cancun, is they're not paying, for this trip. They're definitely donating to the hero program. And because of that, we're basically gifting them, like this trip and this opportunity. So the difference between a hero day and what we call like TSP or, a hero hole at a tournament would be the opportunity for them to write down that they got a 1 on their scorecard for the hole. So with that, I usually bring up that they have, that we're fundraising for a charity. So say this Saturday, I just booked a tournament that's helping out a couple different ministries through a couple different churches. And so what I would bring up is, hey, you guys, like, I'm so excited that the church allowed me to come out here and sponsor a hole with our hero program. We're really known for helping out military, first responders and their families. But for everybody playing in the tournament, we have a couple contests for you. So first one, everybody's in a hole-in-one for free. If you guys get a hole-in-one, you're going to split half of $3,500 with the churches and the different ministries that we're fundraising for. And then the other half is going to go to you. Now we're also doing closest to the pin, where you can win anywhere from $50 to $200 or possibly more, depending on how much we raise. And so we're asking for donations of $25 from everybody. The only catch with that is if every single person in your group donates $25 each, then you get a guaranteed 1 on your scorecard for the whole for helping the church out so much. Now, with our new partnership with Cancun, if any single person in your group wants to double that donation and give $50 and they simply land the green, then they also get a 5-day, 4-night stay in Cancun for 2 adults. But if any single person in your foursome also just wants to donate $100, it doesn't matter where their ball lands, it could go behind them. But for helping both the Hero program and the church today, you get that Cancun trip no matter what, as a thank you for helping both. So there are a lot of different moving parts. That's why I wanted to make sure that this was on the recording so you guys can hear all the different options. But do I have any questions right now between just a normal hero day or doing a hero hole at a tournament? Okay.
Muting.
So,
no, you want it muted.
Oh, do you guys have a question, MJ?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You guys got any questions?
No, I'm good.
This is Marisa, and
Hi.
this
Hi.
is
Hi.
Miguel, and we're just introducing them to Hero program.
Oh, yay. So that everybody knows on the call, MJ is helping us get everything up and running out in Hawaii. So we're so excited that you guys are able to join the call today and really like kick off, like the islands getting up and running with the Hero program. So thank you guys for getting on. And then we'll kind of dive in. I know that we haven't started anything with tournaments on the islands yet. So the next couple of programs might not make that much sense, but we have other newbies that have never even been to a tournament with us yet on this call. So let me know after the call, MJ, if you want to set up an additional training with them too. So with the crank it hole, the pitch doesn't change that much. The biggest thing would be you're going to flow through your pitch when you're donating 50% of the cash back on a crank it hole versus prizes. You have to bring up, the drivers being given back. And so I was at a crank it hole recently that had 50% of the cash going back to Charity for Charity. That was actually the most amount of Cancun trips I've ever given out at one single event. We had 56 of them. And so what I said was, I'm so excited that we're out here fundraising for Charity for Charity. We're sponsoring the hole with our crank it hole and our newest crank drivers. And so if you guys aren't familiar with crank golf, we're really known for the World Long Drive competitions. So I'd love for you to come up. You guys can demo them, just kind of have fun with us. But what's nice is it doesn't matter where your ball lands. So you're actually going to go pick up your golf ball and you're going to advance to our world record, which right now is 483 yards. So at the very least, your team's up there chipping for an albatross. And then we are collecting donations to help out the charity of $25. If a couple of you guys want to donate, awesome. That'll put your team up there at 483 to go chip. But if your whole group will donate $25 each, then you guys have a guaranteed 2 on your scorecard, no matter what, for helping. Now, if any single person in your group wants to double their donation and give $50 instead, then as a thank you, we're going to give them a 5-day, 4-night stay in Cancun for 2 adults. But we can do cash, cards, Venmo, whatever works best for you guys. And so what tends to happen, and I have this on another slide, is somebody will come up and they'll donate, $100 for the group. So all they heard was, okay, that's going to give us a 2 on a par 5. Here's $100. And then in a couple slides, I'll bring up how you can actually get more out of them and have them like the other guys like upgrade and just donate an extra, $25 to get those trips. So what I was doing was for somebody coming up and basically fronting the money for the group and paying $100, then to me on a crank it hole, that gives them 2 trips, and then that kind of gets like their wheels turning. You can do 1 trip. What's nice is there's so many different options. The minimum is just always $50 or more, gets them the Cancun trip. So that's how that one would work. And then we also just had a crank it hole with prizes. So for anybody on the call that just is not familiar with crank it hole, we have 2 different options. When we pitch a tournament and ask to do the crank it hole, we bring up that we have all new drivers from Crank Golf. They're known for the world long drive competitions. We hold a world record at 483 yards. We hold several world records for like distance, ball speed, carry distance. So the guys are really excited to hit them. But with the tournament, we just tell them that we're going to be collecting donations out there. It doesn't cost anything for the players to come up and try out the clubs. But what I need to know ahead of time is if you want us to match back 100% of what we raise by giving away custom built drivers and other prizes from Crank Golf, or we can offer 50% back in cash. So that's why we have 2 pitches for Crank It Hole for anybody that's new. And so on the pitch with the Crank It Hole with prizes, what I would say is pretty much the same thing. So say I was out there for charity and she wanted prizes instead. I would, tell everybody that we were so grateful that she allowed us to come out and sponsor a hole with our Crank It Hole, come up and demo our drivers that hold all the world records. But, after you come up and you hit the drivers a couple of times, we're going to allow you to pick up your golf ball in advance to our world record at 483 yards. Since we are out there collecting donations, trying to help out the charity, we're asking everybody for donations of $25. If a couple people donate, then they are up there chipping for their albatross. If the whole group will donate $25 each, then they have a guaranteed 2 on their scorecard. Plus, they're all going to get raffle tickets to win our custom built drivers from Crank Golf. So even though I know if somebody donates $25 and they're going to get a raffle ticket, I try to almost like push that, hey, by your whole group donating, not only do you have a 2, but now you guys all have raffle tickets. And they're like, oh, then we have to do that. We want to win the drivers. We want a 2. And then I would bring up at the end. But, if anybody decides to double their donation of $25 and get $50 instead, then you also get a 5-day, 4-night stay in Cancun for 2 adults on top of winning the driver and getting the guaranteed 2. So the biggest thing I would say is to have this down as like concise as you possibly can. You want to bring up just enough, but you have to be quick, especially at tournaments. And, honestly, I would say at any hole that we're ever at, so that it can't ever be brought up that, oh, they slow down play. For a tournament, they won't want that. Tournaments are really slow anyway. A lot of tournaments take 5 to 6 hours to play, where a general round could take anywhere from 3.5 to like 4 hours, if it's not tied in with the tournament. But on hero days, the course is going to hear feedback. So they need to know too that they can trust us out there and we're never, ever going to slow down play. So definitely work on your pitch, call your, territory manager, your RVP to just role play. If you can get good with somebody else on your team, then you're going to be even better out there on the course with people that you don't know. Now, for an 18th hole hero day, I was hoping that a couple of my team members that have been doing a ton of par 3 hero days were going to be on the call, but I'll make sure that they get the recording, because it's really important for anybody that has those crank demo drivers to switch up your hero days. You don't want to keep, showing the same exact program. What I've learned going to different states and helping different states get up and running is that there are other par 3 programs out there, and they are tied in with other, organizations. Just yesterday, I was going around with a new rep in Florida, and we heard about like a wounded veterans or wounded warriors type par 3 challenge. It does like close to the pin and stuff. But he sits out there every single day. He's there 7 days a week. It's insane. And so for us, I feel like then I was able to say, well, we don't want to ever oversaturate the area. We know that you have, people that are local, or you have like the same guests sometimes. And so we don't want them to get burnt out on it. Plus, we have other things to offer. We have an 18th hole hero day. We can set up demo days with our drivers. And so then that way it just shows all of our different options, and that there's so much more to our company than just our little par 3 challenge. So on the 18th hole hero day, what I would bring up is that, hey, I'm so excited that Celebration Golf Club allowed me to come out here and fundraise all day for our hero program, which helps military, first responders and their families with getting free prosthetics. We do their service dogs, family financial aid, etc. But today it's actually sponsored by Crank Golf. So if you'd like, since it's your last hole, you're more than welcome to demo one of our Crank drivers that are known for all the world records. But, my main focus is trying to help fundraise for our guys and, gals. But we're just asking for donations of any amount. If you guys donate, then we're going to give you a raffle ticket to win in the pro shop today. Usually you'll win anywhere from $50 to, $250, depending on how much we raise. We're also going to give you what we call a virtual gift bag, which will save you money to play golf all over, whatever state you're in, Florida, California, Nevada, but nationwide as well. But if anybody in your group today wants to donate $50 or more, because you're helping our hero program so much, we're going to give you a 5-day, 4-night stay to Cancun for 2 adults. And then we can do cash, cards, Venmo, etc. So with the 18th hole hero day, it's so important to have your pitch concise, because now you have people coming up, they're paying, they're signing up for the Cancun trip, they're filling out their raffle ticket, and some of them are going to want to try out those drivers. So you have to be really careful not to slow down play at all. Now, at this point, I feel like I've been talking quite a bit. So does anybody have any questions or anything at all right now? I'm going to check to see if the chat has anything either. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so major, I don't know if objections is the right term, but questions or, oh, Mark, did you have a question?
Yeah, rebuttals. That's key to sales, of course, and there's always people coming up saying different things. For example, you have your tournaments, and you mentioned the hero, but you also mentioned the charity. So is this going all to the charity, or is this split between the hero program? Do you mention the hero program? And if it's a super ticket, when they would come up to you and say, well, is it every hole that's sponsored for the big prizes for the, or just this hole? How would you handle those kind of questions?
Yeah, so I think that you and I might need to get on a call ASAP on some of the other programs. I don't want to confuse anybody on tonight's call, but the different pitches on here, after you've gone through training or once you've worked with somebody to start your first day, it should be very clear. The hero days are to help fundraise for our hero program. So you either have your par 3 program, the 18th hole, or a demo day. All of that is just for the hero program. Now, if we do the hero program or TSP is what we call it at a tournament, we're there for that tournament. Same thing for the Crank It hole as well. We're there for the tournament, and implementing Cancun just helps us fundraise that much more. The super tickets, we don't have Cancun tied into any of our super tickets yet. And that is strictly to help upgrade and enhance the overall tournament. But most people haven't gotten into the elite custom packages or super tickets yet. So I just don't want to confuse them on this call.
Yeah, I know. I've been pitching them. So but there's rebuttals when it comes to charities. Like, okay, so I'm paying for this. Is that hole-in-one prize across the board on all holes or certain holes, so forth and so on? And the rebuttal has to be like that. So they're not walking out the door on you.
Yeah. Well, then let's get on a call since this is all about
the way you're pitching. It sounds like it's simple, but so the hero hole is the TSP, right? On a tournament.
Yes. And none of the objections that I have written down are for pitching a tournament. All of them are for pitching on the hole. So let's keep that conversation separate. And I'm going to keep running through, but we'll definitely schedule a call. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear the rest of it.
Okay, good. But I promise we'll make sure that you're up to speed on everything.
But they will rebuttal on all this stuff because I almost got lost on the first pitch you gave because it's like, wait a minute, there's $25, there's $50, there's what am I getting for this? What am I getting? Wait a minute, is this the hole in one that I can win the World Series tickets and stuff like that?
No, totally different. Sounds like we're going to put you back through training, but we'll get you up to speed, I promise. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, objections on the whole. So while you're out there, you've already pitched them. A lot of times what comes up is, oh, this is probably a timeshare. It's not a timeshare. We have a fact sheet that shows, all the different like questions and just all like the different facts, about the trip. A lot of people will be like, oh, it's probably one of those things you have to sit through a really long presentation. No, there's no presentations. There's no blackout dates. There's no like hidden strings attached, right? People have brought up to me, oh, but there's no flight included. And so I just explained that, well, we have, we're offering this all across the country and in other countries as well. So we have people that come down from Canada and they end up winning these trips with us on a hero day or at a tournament. And so we can't include the flight, but the way around that is you have 18 months to book it. So go online, find the cheapest flight that you can find within those 18 months, and then call Cancun and tell them that's when you want to book it. So that's what I bring up. People are always okay, and happy with that answer. And then it's still funny though, like just the other day, somebody was like, but I'm in a raffle to win one, right? I'm like, no, I've already given out like 15 to 20 of these trips. I'm like, you get it for donating this amount, and so on a Crank-A-Hole, it's $50. They get it automatically. On a hero day, they get it automatically for, spending $100, or if they spend 50 and they land the green, then they get it. So, and then all the time you're going to hear, what's the catch? And so I always say like, there's no catch, but what I think could be considered a catch. And I go point to the fact sheet on my table. So they know that like, hey, I need to be like reading these and paying attention, is that when you call them to book them after you've already picked your cheaper flight, there is a one-time booking fee and you pay the taxes on the 5 days. Now, what's really cool is both of those fees are super low cost. So you're still getting a 5-day, 4-night stay because you donated to the hero program. You did a great thing, but then you're paying an additional, it's, about $225 with both of those fees. And most people will turn on and go, oh my gosh, that's nothing. Like, gosh, we're still winning such a cool trip and it's for 2 adults. I'm like, yeah. And if you have kids, you have 2 kids under 12 that go for free. And so you just always want to, give them what they're asking for, but make sure that you flip it to being positive, instead of like, yeah, there's, a booking fee of whatever it is, 115 or 110. And then you have to pay the taxes as well. I wouldn't say like that. I'd be like, yeah, you only have to pay this, one time. And gosh, on my dad's timeshare I've gone to Cancun with, I think my taxes one time after my 5-day trip were like $600, $700, $800. So for me, I'm excited. This is literally a fraction of that cost, So just always be positive, always be excited, and give them, something to look forward to. But make sure you answer their questions and direct them to that fact sheet. So from here, how to increase donations after they've donated. So whether it's a hero day or you're doing TSP, at a tournament, what I always do is I pay attention to what people donate individually. So then that way I know that, hey, this guy paid 50, he's good. This guy paid 100, he's good. So I'm really paying attention to the guy that gave me $20 or $10 out there. So what you want to do is if they've donated, say $10 and they end up landing the green, I would make that like the biggest deal. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Just so you know, if you want to make sure that you, fill the gap to $50 because you landed the green, you're going to win that Cancun trip. And a lot of times they'll turn around, they're like, even though I made the green after I donated, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, like you're helping, either the charity, if you're doing TSP, or our hero program that much more by you donating additionally. We don't care. But I would never say that until they've hit and they've landed the green. Now, say somebody donated, I don't know, $50 because they were excited. They were hoping they were going to land the green, right, to win it. And then they don't. What I would say is like, oh man, I was really like, rooting for you. I was really hoping you were going to get that trip. But if you really want to go, all you have to do is double your donation and you have that trip no matter what. And so I think a lot of people will like mull it over and they're like, you know what? Yeah, sure. You know, run my card again, or you know what? I'll Venmo you again. So if you just don't give them those options and they don't know, and most people think that whatever they donate before they hit is all they're allowed to. So you have to be active. You have to be paying attention. You have to know what what people gave you so that you could be like, hey, I know you gave me $20. If you just fill the gap and you give me another $30 because you're on the green, you get that trip. So you're helping us. I want to help you go on a trip and surprise your wife or, your best friend, your dad, whatever it is. And so you want to make it exciting, but you have to make sure you pay attention. So let me see what I put on this last point. Explain on Cricket Hole, some of these 100. Oh, so on the Cricket Hole, I kind of mentioned this earlier. A lot of times people will come through and they're like, here's $100 for the group. We want the 2. What does that entail? To be honest, it's up to you. You can, because they gave $100, you could get them 2 trips. Because technically on the Cricket Hole, it's anybody who donates $50, gets the trip. What I started to do is I would be like, oh my gosh, since you covered the group, you get a trip no matter what. But if any of your buddies want to donate the additional 25 since you've covered their base, then all of them can go on that Cancun trip as well. And so then that way, like their ears perk up. They're like, well, I didn't have the $50, but I have 25. And, I look cheap because he just put down $100. Okay, fine. I'll do 25. And so you'll start getting all these trips left and right. So I just wanted everybody to know, like, that's what I started to do recently and how I worded it. And a lot of people started taking me up on that.
It does work, Audra.
Yes.
I've done it multiple times. I know Terry's done it multiple times. Tracy has done it multiple times. So the queen of getting them afterwards is really awesome.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, I love it. I love hearing all of their numbers. And if anybody's going to speak up, I'm so glad that it's you. So thank you. Now, I want to make sure that everybody has the correct materials. I believe that Leslie was poking around in the CRM today, updating some of the stuff that we have on there. But I should have emailed this out to everybody except for anybody that's come on within like the last day or 2. So I'm going to just kind of point to some things. People who've been on with us for a while, this will be, a no-brainer for you. But you want to make sure you have both this table sign and one of those like plastic sign holders on your table. So this one just says, donate today and win. If you donate $50 per person or more, you win a trip. That's where you're going to come in to explain they have to land the green, or that works for the Cricket Hole. They can get it for $50. Then this one is vital. So this one has our frequently asked questions. It brings up, and sorry, it's so small, but it brings up, that it's not a timeshare. There's no blackout dates. They have free private transportation from the airport to the resort. They have a spa credit. It also has Cancun information. So then that way, if they haven't heard from them, within 48 to 72 hours, they can reach out to them, which I think is great. And so having both of those on your table is vital. Now, we have 2 different tracking forms that you can use. I personally like this one up in the top right because it has so many more spaces for you to put their name, phone number, and email. And one thing I want to say is, please, whatever you do, even if you don't reconcile the event for a couple days, because we have until, Monday at midnight for our CRM, please make sure you take photos of those and you get them to your RVP that same exact night, no matter what. Because we know that the people that are winning these trips are so excited. We don't want them to wonder about it. We don't want them to go on and Google, or have any like doubts or anything like that. We want them to get that welcome call and that welcome email ASAP, stick to our 48 to 72 hour rule, and get them while they're still excited. Because I don't know if everybody knows this, when somebody does book their trip, when they officially book it, the Hero program actually receives money on the back end for that trip. So this is amazing for the Hero program, before they even go, because they're donating on the whole, but once they book the trip and gone as well. So the other sign right here is totally optional. I actually just ordered more of these because I love having the yard signs. I feel like as the players are like pulling up, they can see it from like far away, and I always angle them so that, they can see them from the cart path. And so it just kind of stops and gets their attention. And if anybody on this call has hero courses that they've had for a while, that I feel like is vital. So in California, because we started the hero program out there, we're trying to figure out what the heck to do, and we're like the guinea pigs. We've had several courses and we've seen several people over and over and over again. So I wanted that sign out there so that people were like, wait, I haven't seen that one before, where your table sign it doesn't stand out enough right now, at least for in California, where most states are fine. This is still new, still exciting. Even out here in Florida, people have not seen this, so it's not as, vital. But in a couple other states, it will be. But
Audra, that just happened on Sunday or Saturday at
Okay.
one of the courses that was one of our, original courses that we started the hero at. And it was like they saw my T sign that says, help the hero program, win $3,500. I'm gonna get this new sign because once they saw the trip, they were like, oh wait, what? Like,
wait a
I've
second.
never heard this before. And it really made a huge difference out on the course,
Yeah.
of being able to reach the goal that I have every time I go out. So my goal is every time I'm gonna raise $1,000 because that'll give me what is worth my time of being out there. And it'll help our hero program to have goals. So they're going to get, this amount of dollars. And then I will also, also be compensated as well. And it makes it worth the time. And so I hope everyone's making goals for themselves. Like, what does that look like? Is it $1,000? Is it 1,500 or whatever it is? But this will help you get to those goals by adding these little signs and stuff and talking. So
most of anybody that's from our team should have received an Amazon link whenever I sent you your welcome to the team email. If you're on another team, let me know, because I've added a couple items to the Amazon link for what to order for your different holes and setups. What I'm personally going to order tonight is a whiteboard, with like an easel. So I think that just getting like a little one for your table could work. Right now, I feel like I have 4 different table signs. I have my jar full of our virtual gift bag cards and our jar of money, and it fits perfectly right now. So I want to get the big one that's like a stand, in front of the table. But what the Colorado team has started to do that's worked amazing is by having that whiteboard out there, I would write like highest donation today. So then that way, the people that were just going to donate $20 and they were super excited and thought that was great, they're going to see that Mike Smith donated $100, or, whoever donated $500, and they're like, oh man, and they're going to like rethink that. So that's exactly what happened. I don't know if everybody on this call knows the story or not. Patrick out in Colorado, he had somebody come through and they donated $2,500. Well, 3 or 4 groups later, a guy was like, oh, here's 3 or 4 $100 bills in your jar. I bet you like that's like the highest donation today, huh? And that's a great donation. I'd be excited by $300 or $400, But he was like, actually, it was the coolest thing. 3 or 4 groups ago, somebody just had me put $2,500 on their card. And he was like, what? And he was like, well, I can't have them outdo me. Put $2,500 on my card. And so he ended up raising like $6,000 or something that day or more. And so I think that's going to be what I'm going to try to push with my team. Of course, it's another expense. If you can't do it, totally understand. Make money with us and then upgrade whenever you can, like any of our materials. But if you can, I think that writing it out there, and maybe even just having that person that does do the high donation, maybe write something on there for everybody else. So then that way the other golfers are seeing what he has to say and why he donated. It doesn't have to be like this long thing, but go veterans or I love USA or something, and I think that if you wrote like $500 and then their name, for them, people want recognition usually, and so they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I did a good deed, I'm being recognized, something like that. And I always make sure, and I know Noelani's the same way, that they do know. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like my biggest, donator today. Thank you so much, and like I want them to know that it's genuine, that I'm so grateful and excited, that it isn't something I see every day. But at this point, does anybody have any questions about pitching Cancun on our on-course fundraiser programs? Or have anything to add to be successful?
I just want to confirm that there's 18 months for them to book it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I really should make this flyer bigger with the facts, but I promise you'll have one for your table sign this weekend.
So, what I've been saying is there's 6 months to book, 12 months to take. Is that kind of the same thing, or am I saying that wrong?
If you break it down, yes.
Okay.
If somebody asks to get technical, I would say 18 months because it sounds great, but whatever works for you. So to be honest, I copy whatever I hear from Magali. Magali is the Cancun queen. But if somebody asks you to break that down, that's absolutely correct.
Okay, because I'm more of like, hey, 18 months, and then if they're like, really? And then I break it out to like, okay, 6 plus 12 equals 18.
Yeah. Yep.
But I know there's a lot of successful people out there doing this. Michael French, what do you do out on the whole? Because you're really good at this as well.
I don't think, Michael is on the call. Yay, Michael. I hope you're feeling better.
I'm here, but my voice is still worthless.
Oh, so you guys know Michael
I'm so
French
sorry.
but for us in San Diego. But he's been under the weather, gosh, for at least a few weeks, if not like a month now, huh, Mike? But
Ever since Christmas.
oh my gosh, you poor thing. I'm like, we'll get better soon, but yeah, Mike, if you have any like tips or tricks that you want to add to like our GroupMe chat or anything like that, or even the chat on here, that'd be awesome. I just don't want to have you strain your voice.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Michael.
Great job, Noelani. No, just kidding.
My bad.
Audria?
Yes.
Hi, you guys. It's Magali. Good
Hi,
evening.
how are you?
Hi. I had muted myself and I was trying to unmute. But to answer the question, yes. So you have 6 months to book it.
Mhm.
And then you've got the remainder time to take it. So it's 12 months to take it, 6 months to book it. That equals 18 months. Does that make sense?
Yes. I think that's perfect.
It does to me.
Yeah.
So you can call them back within 6 months, and then you have 12 months you have to tell them where you want to go within those 12 months when you call them within your 6 months. So
Within the 6
total of
months,
18
right?
months. Yeah.
Right. Yep. And then just remember, you
Yeah.
guys, that the trip, because it does benefit the Hero program and it's got its logo and all that in there, it is a write-off. So that's another little bonus that you can tell them, particularly they've never been to Cancun. They're trying out, they're raising, they're donating money for the Hero program. So it's a trip that you can write off.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for adding that in.
Yeah, that's a big one. When people are asking about, is this a timeshare? Is this? No, this is tied. This is something that was specifically created for the Hero program, as a way of not just raising money on the front end, which is at the tournament, but you're raising money on the back end as well, because Cancun is sending a donation for every registered trip. So.
Okay. I'm like, thank you. I feel like that's like the perfect way to bring that up.
Yeah. And yes, in my 15 years of doing this, particularly when I give over 30 trips at a tournament, people are wondering, what's the catch? How is that possible? How are you able to do that? And again, it's something that has been specifically worked out between the Hero program and Cancun Cards. you know, as a way to raise additional money. So it's not tied to any type of presentation, tour, any of that.
Mhm. No, thank
So-
you for all those like tips.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I feel like we had several, you know, girls and guys on the call that have just come on recently. So thank you for giving us a reason, honestly, to go back through all those pitches to make sure everything was just clear and, you know, concise. And so if anybody has any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll put my number in the chat as well, because I know we have some other team members that are not on our team that joined tonight, but I think I hear somebody bringing something up too.
Yeah, is the trip longer for Hawaii, or is that just something I heard and it's not true?
Oh, so we have not moved forward on that yet. Right now it's still 5 days, 4 nights. And then as soon as we do move forward, then we'll absolutely let you know.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, of course. That was a good question. I want to see whiteboard. Okay, cool. Yay, I'm glad you guys like the whiteboard. And of course, the one I found was huge on Amazon, you know, because that's what sounds great to me, but it could be a small one on your table. So you don't have to, you know, spend $60. You can spend 10 probably. So, but does anybody else have any other questions before I go ahead and end the call at all?
Just wondering where the virtual gift bag cards could be found. Like, if you said you have a second jar with the cards in it. And
Yeah.
I don't have any of those. I looked up the virtual, you know, gift bag, and there isn't. Most of it's for the mainland, but then there's a lot of mainlanders that come over here to play golf.
Yeah.
So they might be able to take it back.
So as
But-
your team, MJ, starts to get more courses on board, that's when you'll get those offers from your Hawaii courses to add them into the virtual gift bag. So I always bring up that, you know, I'm giving you this virtual gift bag. It's going to save you money to play golf at all of our different courses that we've partnered with in Hawaii, but nationwide as well. So if you travel, definitely make sure you check it out, because there's probably discounts, you know, wherever you're from. But yeah, you'd have to be careful in Hawaii right now, just because I think we only have a couple courses so far. So as you guys get more, then it'll start rocking and rolling for sure.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And Audra, we still have that contest going on with adding to the virtual gift bag, correct? Did you
Yes.
already go over that? Okay,
I have not.
okay.
Go ahead.
Maybe you can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. So if anybody adds any sort of company into the virtual gift bag, whether it's a restaurant, you know, a nail salon that's local, a golf course, whatever it could be, our team, I guess spiff, if you will, right now, until the end of February, whoever has the most new businesses put in there with their offers is going to win a brand new Hero polo, as well as a brand new Hero hat. So I always feel like giving out stuff that's going to help your business is great. For women, you'll have a women's size and fit. It won't be a big baggy one. And then for men, obviously we'll have your sizes too, but that's vital, honestly. So if any of you have friends that own businesses, we want to add anybody and everybody. I'm like, even my hair guy, he is known for doing the hair replacement systems for men, which I feel like a lot of golfers, you know, as they're coming through, many men deal with, you know, hair loss issues. So I added him in there, you know, why not? And so he was super excited to get more of like a golfer's clientele, you know, seeing his product. And so it could be literally anything. And if anybody has questions on how to, you know, add those into the virtual gift bag, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to me. My cell phone number is in that meeting chat.
So I had one more question. Miguel had brought something up this last time we were doing a course, and I think it would be cool. It's just a thought, but to have contests between the different places, like teams in different states or something, and then you know, whoever gets the most whatever donations or something per person, maybe it would have to be broke down to that, since some states probably have 50 people. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just a thought, to motivate people and to make it more interesting and to have something, for all of us.
Yeah, no, I love that idea. I'm like, I don't have my notepad next to me, but I'm definitely going to write that down as soon as I close this call, because I like that. It'll get everybody like, kind of like battling and just excited, pushed.
Yeah, competition. Yeah.
I'm like, good idea, Hawaii team. Good job.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining today. I'm so excited we got to go everything, and good luck on everybody's events this weekend. I hope everybody's pitches are smooth and concise after tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Dr.
Bye.
Bye.